Okay, so I'm looking at this equation, quadratic equation, and I see that it is a perfect square trinomial. Now, how do I know that? I know that because I look at the first term, 4p squared. If I take the square root of that, I will get a perfect square. So that'll give me 2p is the square root of that. And if I look at the last term, it also is a perfect square, so it's 5. And if I multiply these together, I will get this right here. I will like if, okay, so so the pattern is this. So the pattern is, because I know that because this is a perfect square and this is a perfect square, I'm looking at something that's pretty close to being a perfect square trinomial. And the way that I would know that this is correct is that if I were to factor this, so we take the square root of the first term, so that'd be 2p, got a minus sign here, and then the square root of the last term, which is 5, and I square it like this. Now what I would do here is if I have 2p minus 5 times 2p minus 5, and so 2p times 2t is 4p squared. 2p times negative 5 is a negative 10p. Negative 5 times 2p is again negative 10p. Negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. So if I do my like terms, I get 4p squared minus 20p plus 25. So I have the same thing that's over here. So that tells me that's a perfect square trinomial. Yeah, this is a perfect square trinomial. It gets reduced to a binomial. I take the same sign. I take the square root of the first term, take the square root of the last term, and put it into binomial form like this. And we still have our 9 here, and that equals 3 squared. Okay, so then what I do is I take the square root of this side and the square root of this side. And my answer comes out to be, remember the 2 that's here, and this 2 cancels everything out over here. So I'm left with 2p minus 5 equals, and the same thing happens over here on this other side. So we have a 2 here and a 2 here. They cancel each other out, and we're left with 3, but we're left with plus or minus 3, because remember that 3 could have been a negative 3 or a positive 3, and we still would have gotten a positive 9 if we had squared it. So our answer is positive or negative 3. We're solving for p, so what we'll do is we'll take 2p minus 5 equals positive 3, and then we'll take 2p minus 5 equals negative 3. Okay, and then so on both of them, we're going to add 5 to both sides. And when we do that, over here we're left with 2p equals 8. Over here we're left with 2p equals 2. I divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. And so they cancel out. And I'm left with p equals 4 here. And here I'm equals with p equals 1. So my solutions are p equals 4 and 1. So I would write that as 4, 1.